All right. So now it's time to do Dr. Stone Season 4, Episode 5 review. We will do the non spoiler first, so that will be what we start with. As always, Dr. Stone never fails to make us feel the feel goods. I look forward to it every week, even more so since the dub comes out at the same day as the sub. This episode, we further get to explore our enemies, along with seeing the fruits of previous episodes' deceptions. Gin is secretly the MVP of this whole season so far. Um, we're also getting to look into the villains and how they think a little more. And their designs are pretty cool, like the art, how they were drawn. Um, so yeah, that's what we have to say without spoiling anything. So we're gonna give our normal countdown of 10 seconds, and if you don't want any spoilers, hit that pause and then go into the sections in the chapters. I will have the next anime, Sakamoto Days, and there will be a non-spoiler there as well. All right, a 10, a 9, a 8, a 7, a 6, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and let's roll. All right, my first comment for the episode is let's say just leave it to America to have their own Freddy Krueger and Predator from Alien vs. Predators. And let's not forget they have their own machine guns and military superiority. Yeah, that's lore accurate. My next question is, what is the red stuff in the vial that he was spinning around? Are we gonna find that out in the future? My next comment was, did we say we wanted corn? Because they had that huge cornfield. Like there was more corn than you could ever think of. Um, it was being grown, I think, in California. I think California is kind of where they landed. So yeah, because they said the Golden Gate. So it's kind of funny how much corn they're in California. Sorry about that. My headset turned off because no, I don't have any sound going into it. I'm only talking. Corn is usually in the middle of the U.S., but this is 3,000 years later, so we don't know what's going to change in the climate and stuff like that. So it, I can't say it's not realistic. Maybe we even have cornfields in California. I know California is like 80% of the world's almonds, so I'm not sure. If you live in Cali, down in the comments, go ahead and write if you guys have corn fields out there. I'm pretty sure that, I mean, you have water, it's seawater, but I feel like it's easier to do that near the Mississippi River for irrigation. Anyways, to the next, what I wrote next was Sinku has done a great job in teaching those around him because none of them needed an explanation for what was going on. They all immediately jumped to the conclusion that they could be spied on. Most of the ones that jumped to that conclusion were from the future, so maybe they have memories from TV, but he didn't have to explain that the radio frequency could be traced. Speaking of TV, I think we need TVs for the crewmates. Um, my next my next comment was the face Senku made as he turned off the radio was adorable. Sadly, they had already traced him, unfortunately. My next comment was Magna running his big mouth, calling people idiots before he even sees who's on the phone. Um, who put him close to the phones? This is why we need a TV, okay? And we wouldn't have to worry about Magma being Magma. We just put him in front of the TV and he'd be like a big toddler. We don't have to deal with him. My next comment was laughing my ass off right after I say that. Zeno says, "Pardon my rough Japanese, but I'm afraid this is no conversation for idiots." I I don't know if you can see it, but I'm genuinely in tears. Even just reliving that. That was just too good. It was so good. Right after I called him an idiot, the doctor also did so. I said I'm dying from all of their faces when he says Doctor Taiju, and then I wrote Taiju just LOL Taiju. Look at that overcoat that no one wears, and the silly mustache, followed by his screaming. Just Taiju being our lovable dork. Good to see we are staying on point, though, with America flexing its overwhelming military advantage. That's super lore accurate because right after he like says he's not gonna give them the recipe. He has the scouting plane coming over ahead just to show that they already know where he's at. So that was just them flexing. They had no reason to do that other than to keep them intimidated so they didn't try to sail away or anything. My next uh my next comment was Taiju's crush always wears her headphones as a headband, but to be honest, I'm assuming that they don't even really work at this point and are probably stone. I mean, what kind of headphones last for over 3,000 years? If anyone has headphones that won't break down after thousands of years, can I borrow them? Just gonna put them on my ears and use them to talk. You'll definitely get them back. All right, my next comment is now this is ironic. We're gonna be making an aircraft carrier to take down USA when USA in lore, aka real life, has more aircraft carriers than all other countries combined. My next comment was, "LOL. Let's go take a basic gun that's not even semi-advanced versus a endless supply of machine guns," referring to Magna trying to take the gun and talk Yo into going and and shooting the Dr. Zeno. My next comment was, Taiju, you are a scientist yet now, you big oaf. You should hide your excitement to play a board game. You're gonna give away to the enemy immediately. Stay in character. That comment was followed by Ginu. Not um, it's Ginu and Kinu. I don't know his name. It's the blonde little brother. They're not brothers, but in my mind they are. I was like Ginu said, we should run away, or Gino. It might have been Gino. Said we should run away after explaining after that we explained basic military strats to him, and he was like I said, we should keep our boat exactly where it is, turning a full 180 in less than a minute. It was so hilarious. My next comment was they both have come to the same conclusion. Jin's deception is already paying off, looking them looking at Taiju, who's gonna be much harder to kill than Senku. It's time for science versus science. Who's gonna prevail? And my final statement was, "Yay! Suika got deployed into the infiltration team. Maybe this will help her stop doubting how amazing she is to us." All right, now we are going into Sakamoto Days, Episode 6. Non spoiler of Episode 6 is going to start now. I wrote, man, this episode was peak. I had a goofy smile on and even some tears. We got a really great character as a new assassin, and he's probably my new favorite character by far. I don't know how much we can expect of him in the future episodes, but he really tugged on my heart. And some may find him annoying, but I was not one of those people. All right. And with that, this is the last part of the non-spoilers. After this, I will give an outro. So if you're not wanting to stick around for the spoilers, I will have in the chapter my outro labeled so you can listen to what I have to say after. So we're going to start our 10-second countdown. Go ahead and pause the video and sneak on the chapters to find the outro. 10, a 9, a 8, a 7, a 6, a fay, a four, a tree, a two, a one, and here we go. My first comment was we open with what I assume is our next hitman we are going to have to deal with, and a very pretty bird with a military pouch necklace. The bird reminds me a lot of the bird in Bleach season 1, that little boy's soul that was stuck inside the bird, if anyone remembers that episode. Chad was protecting the bird. My next comment was, although this is a hitman, can we take a moment to appreciate that he feeds his bird 4 times as much money worth of food than he does for himself when most people spend a lot less on pets? If I had to spend 4 times as much on dog food than I do human food, I wouldn't be able to ever afford having a pet on my income. Um, my next comment was the picture that they gave him was very outdated. It makes me wonder if they are going, oh, yeah, that's so weird. I'm not sure. Okay. I wrote the picture that they gave him is very outdated. And then my next comment was part of me wonders if we are going to adopt this assassin into the family. We could let him work at the shop and maybe he wouldn't be so starving. My next comment was Taro going, sorry, I just work here. I can't say I know anyone named Taro Sakamoto. It's such a vibe. Go ahead and put a 1 down in chat if you knew someone was here to kill you and you were just like, I never met this person. Uh, um, my next comment was, I love the poor little hitman trying to count to 2 million on his fingers and only making it to 7. His tears were just too wholesome. I would have given him and his bird some meat buns too. Uh, my next comment was Shin said some of these hitmen are really dumb, and Taro thought to himself, weirdly, it's those are the ones that live the longest. And I wrote, that's in life in general, not just hitmen. My next right was comment was, to be honest, I love this bird's little sound. Put a 2 in the chat if it awakened a joy in your heart every time it made a sound. What an amazing voice actor it had. My next comment was Lou is cheerleading because she doesn't like violent games. Or no, she said violent games really aren't her thing. I wrote, LOL, we need to give her some alcohol and see how quickly that changes. That's a callback to her being a drunken fist fighter for those unfamiliar with the anime. My next thing was they added the Hitman to their team for the Airsoft tournament. We'll see if he notices that Taro's name is on the list. He goes, tell me what to do. And Shin goes, shoot everyone you see. And then Shin thinks about it for a second and remembers he has a low IQ and goes, shoot everyone that isn't us. My next comment was it was so funny that after they like Shin and the assassin hit 7 people with air gun the airsoft gun shots. Not once did it remind us, but the moment that Taro goes into action and you see him shoot 2 people at the same time with his airsoft gun, they put the reminder on screen that it says this is airsoft gun. My next comment was, Shin, that is rude to be annoyed with him because he views you as a friend. Let the poor assassin dream. You guys are way too. Then he goes, I wrote, you guys are way too good at this. It's almost like you've done this before. Then Shin was like, he's on to us. And he's like, you guys are airsoft geeks, aren't you? And then Shin's like, oh yeah, he's an idiot. I then wrote, Lord, I take back what I said about giving her alcohol. She just told on us. I also wrote the net flap animated. The fact that they animated the net flap dangling as he can that he can agree that it couldn't be him in the photo was amazing. My next comment was my heart can't help but to feel for the hitman during the standoff. So much for us being friends, yo. I could feel the pain of betrayal, but only because I warm up to people really quickly. So I wrote, well, now we see why that bird is so well fed, carrying a sniper rifle like 20 times its weight. Um, and then I wrote, aw, he is crying with the thought of killing Taro. Even his bird couldn't lift that feeling, 'cause both him and the bird were crying. He said, me and those guys are enemies, yo. Um, the next thing I wrote was during the ricocheting bullet scene, the neck flap just barely dodging the bullet. Like that was just so peak. Um, my next message that I sent or comment was this scene of him shooting bullets ricocheting like crazy gives me flashbacks of a game that I played on Steam called Rounds. It's super fun if you guys never played it and you got friends that you know would 1v1 you. That's a great game to play. Um, my next comment was Shin is quoting things I've said to friends so many times. Why care what others think so much? You have to believe in yourself. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. But then he followed it up by screaming yo to disorientate him, and obviously I don't do that part. Um, the next thing I wrote was Taro shattering his rifle with a pebble was a great was great. And then right after that, they cut to Team Sakamoto winning the tournament. My guess is that the other team shot each other at the same time, so the only ones left standing were Sakamoto. So the team that won were the team fighting each other with well, the assassin was using real bullets. They weren't. And then I wrote, I can't tell if he said that it does or it doesn't when he was crying and they asked if it was supposed to make him feel better. Either way, I had a big goofy grin the whole time. And then lastly, I wrote, hearing the story of Taro and his wife meeting up was uber adorable. And then him bopping Shin with the thought of him stabbing him in the neck, saying his wife's mind was off limits so he wouldn't read her mind was super wholesome in its own way. What a great way to end an episode. So that's the end of Sakamoto, and now we will go with the outro. So in the outro, I wrote, speaking of wholesome, my next vlog I will be covering Zinshu, Apothecary Diaries, and My Happy Marriage. Those episodes will all be the newer episodes, except for Apothecary Diaries. Apothecary Diaries, I will be covering episode 3. I try to limit how much subbed I watch because it's really hard for me to keep up with it. I'm a slow reader. The only like one of the main ones I'm watching right now is Solo Leveling. I can't wait for the dub, but the dub is so good that I watch it a second time. Um, I find things much more enjoyable with dubbed when it comes to anime, and the comments that people usually leave of the quality of dubs being bad have not been watching dubs recently. They've kind of stepped up their game, so the quality isn't really an issue anymore. Um, it's improved a lot over the years. So, with that being said, our next adventure, Dome adventure, will be on Monday, aka it's 3 a.m. on Monday right now. I've spent 8 hours plus um, editing these videos because I thought I was only allowed to do 15-minute videos. Come to find out, I'm already verified. I could have just made this one long video. Put in the comments below if you would like me to keep the anime separate, or if you would like them together with the Adventure Dome, or if you would like them in their own video. So the options are we could have all the animes together in their own video, or we could combine them with the rest of the vlog, or we can have them each have their own separate video. Whatever you guys prefer, we'll do. It'll take some time of testing to figure it out, but I will see you guys. I'll be dropping a video probably on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. But we will be at Adventure Dome when I wake up. So if you want to come say hi, you're more than welcome. I'm happy to always smile and wave. If you guys want to ride rides with me, be feel free to ask. I'm super friendly. It's not just a it's not just a show that I'm putting on for the camera. So feel free to come and say hi to me if you want to. Hi guys.